Let's go to Ottawa now, where representatives of the so-called Freedom Convoy responding to the federal court ruling on the use of the Emergencies Act.
And myths, truths that accompanied 2 years ago while we were here in Ottawa protesting. Everything from breaking into stores to arson. It was all proven that it never happened. They were all falsehoods. Many MPs stated these were concerns, stated that somehow people practicing their rights under our charter and under our freedom of rights was some sort of a threat to this country. And many MPs on the Liberal side perpetuated these lies. We have still not had an apology for those lies from any MP in the government. I do not want to speak for groups within the freedom movement that have started litigation processes, but there are litigation processes underway right now. So I won't speak any further to that, but there has. Ideally, an apology from the government would help in some matter. But what happened was, and what is extremely disturbing on a historical presence, I believe Canada itself changed very dramatically on that last day, 2 years ago on the 17th, because what had occurred is we had our ruling government weaponize police officers, weaponize the establishment, and weaponize the justice system against its own people. Now, these were people that our Prime Minister labeled many words, called them a threat, said we couldn't go on trains, said we couldn't fly, all because we challenged and we wanted basically our own health. We weren't willing to take something that was really experimental. And the evidence that has come up, although it's being pushed down, will eventually prove to that point that we were correct. But really, I really want to stick to the message that our police were weaponized, our justice system were weaponized against our people. And historically, that has not done very well for companies when a leader against a group he disagrees with in a country uses violence to suppress them. Is a very slippery slope. Now, I do also want to salute to all those that were involved in the original convoy for their bravery and their foresight. That foresight, they realize what is happening. They realize that we have a government in place that is really ideologically driven. They do have I will use this word tyranny because I believe someone in the media said that our main goal right now is to fight tyranny. But if tyranny is, and quite simple, there's several bills that are going to restrict freedom of speech in this country. We have people in Parliament wanting just simply a law in place that anyone that supports our oil industry to be in jail for 2 years. That this is the type of ideological thinking that's causing extreme divisions in this country. I can't remember in our history, and other besides the senior, where the government has basically waged war on one of the provinces in this country without negotiation. And it has been shown that there is no negotiation. Leaders should be pragmatic. We don't have anything from this government stating that they're going to be have any sort of pragmatism towards any opposing views in this country, regardless whether it infringes upon our rights as well. So, again, across this country, there will be many events. These are not celebrations, but more for remembrance of what occurred on the 17th. There's several events in the city, in the province and across the country, one of which is in Ottawa. So I'm going to have my colleague Daisy just kind of describe what's happening tomorrow, give his thoughts on the original.
So this is a representative from the convoy movement, the so-called Freedom Convoy movement in Ottawa, speaking to reporters, reacting to the decision that came in late January from the federal court ruling saying that the use of the Emergencies Act by the Trudeau government was unreasonable. He's saying he has still not received an apology from the government, and he says to reporters saying that the federal government weaponized the police as well as the justice system against fellow Canadians, and talking about how this has created further division within the country.